definitely takes time to build your companies up. But damn, if you stick with us and like you ride out, through, there are some companies that take a little bit of time, and I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. There have been a couple mobile IV companies that we have lost, and it's more so because they want to do it their way, or they have a different vision, and it doesn't equal our vision. If you want someone to help you and replicate what we've done in the past and how it works, we're the company for you. But if you want to come in and kind of learn how we do it and then do it your own way, we're probably not the company for you. We're definitely not coming in and telling you exactly like, don't you dare do that. But we definitely do have recommendations and do everything on that end. So it's just so satisfying though on my end to see that I've worked with people for 4 to 5 years and they're not going anywhere. Like they're with me for life, and now they're making millions. Now they're, it took a year and a half, it took 2 years, it took a year, it took 6 months, but they're like, man, that dude that told me when we first started actually was correct. That there's no better feeling than that. And it's very hard to find a marketing, I don't even consider us a marketing company, a partnership company in the mobile IV realm that knows what they're doing. Like that's just sick. And we'll go into why OMG marketing is so different. Well, let me touch a little bit on it. The reason why OMG marketing is so different from every other agency that you've ever worked with in the mobile IV med spa world is not only do we do traditional marketing, local SEO, web design, web design development, pay-per-click ads, all that. Also, everybody can do that. No, the difference that separates us is I can dispatch for you, I can hire for you, I can grab medical direction and good faith exams for you. There's no other company that understands that. There's no other company that you can go to right now and say, hey, I need help dispatching. I can't be on my phone all the time. What happens? Well, you know what you can do with OMG marketing is I can get you a lead from the pay-per-click ads. The lead will go over to our dispatch system. Our dispatchers will go ahead and dispatch that out to a nurse that we trained in our systems, and we send that nurse out and make sure they're good to go. Nobody can do that. And that's where the pride comes on the marketing side. That's why I think we're so sick when it comes to that. And definitely built something there, and I can't wait to continue to keep helping people, for as long as this ride, allows me to do so. What do you know that would have saved you years of pain if you knew it in 2016? I mean, switching to mobile IV therapy or going toward a niche service, I definitely would have did that. Definitely should have done that in the beginning, because as soon as I switched the model to healthcare brands, mobile IV med spa, man, it took off like wildfire. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. What's the thing that nobody in this industry wants to say out loud? Damn, there's a lot of shit that nobody wants to say out loud. Free my paramedics in Texas. I'm just kidding. No, seriously. I mean, Texas doesn't allow paramedics. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. I know you got Jennifer's Law. I know you got all that, but you allow paramedics to go into people's homes and slam ketamine or whatever the fuck they need to slam, but you won't allow them to give them a shot of Toradol? Makes no sense to me. So you won't allow them to do vitamins? Ridiculous. So that's probably one take, and there's probably a lot of people that want to do that, and that's probably the only big thing that I can really see. And the other thing is there's a compliance issue. There's a huge compliance issue here. Good faith exams. If you guys are listening to this, do your fucking good faith exams. Stop getting us in trouble. If you're a mom and pop shop, pay the fucking fees. It's just what you need to do. If you can't afford the fees, go join a bigger company and go run until you can afford it. But there's definitely a lot of black market stuff going on right now that I really can't stand, because it's going to get us all in trouble. And the people like us, the big companies that are actually doing a good job, are getting shit on. So that's kind of where it's at on that. If someone told you in 2016 that this is where you'd end up, would you believe them? No. I went to nursing school for 1 quarter. Seriously, 1 quarter. And I couldn't do it. It wasn't the blood. It wasn't anything like that. It's just, they told me we would have to be like in a cancer ward, ER, all that stuff with patients and kids. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't stomach that. So I said, meh, whatever. I'm about to document the entire journey from 0 to 4 million publicly on a few of my companies that I own. Why? I don't think there's a lot of real content out there that shows that you can actually do this. I don't think there's anybody out there that's showing that, back in 2022, I built a company that went from $0 to 2 million in a year. Like, does it seem like a big number? No, but it's in the mobile IV world, and I don't think there's a lot of content for there. Is there anybody that has shown that I went from 0 to 4 million in a year? No. Is there any companies out there that I've taken other mobile IV companies in different states from 0 to 300,000 in a month? I'm sorry, 0 to $300,000 in a year. No, I want to be as much authentic when it comes to this, and I would love to hear questions. I'd love to hear concerns. I'd love to hear everything in the comments on YouTube or anywhere else that you see any of this content from. I think that would be ideal. I made a promise to myself. I was going to do 100 episodes. Why 100 episodes? I just kind of wanted to get in front of the camera finally, because I shit you not, we have built 3 podcast rooms. We've had guests. We've shot. Like, we look at a bunch of stuff. Is the lighting correct? Is my fucking forehead on fire? Am I showing my double chin? Like, I have no idea. I don't really give a shit anymore. We've done so many takes to where, no, that looks stupid. I look ridiculous on, I look ridiculous on this, or I look ridiculous on this platform. And I just don't give a shit anymore. So, like, I just wanted to go ahead and just start posting away and see what we could do. What should people take away from this podcast? It's going to be, basically about mobile IV therapy. We're going to throw in some marketing in there. We're going to throw in, some, life stuff that obviously comes in my head. And, hopefully I'll stay on topic. As you guys can tell, if you guys are going past this amount of episode, I definitely do have strong ADHD. I cannot stand together. I'm all over the fucking place, but it's just kind of how I am. So if you can deal with that and, put me on a podcast or anything like that and listen to what I got to say, by all means. And, where can you guys find me? I'm definitely on Instagram. You're going to see Instagram, TikTok. You're going to see me on LinkedIn. You're going to be able to see me all on my handles at JLopezOMG. We'll be talking about everything else. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys sticking around, for this episode. And, we'll kind of put this together. We'll throw it together. And, I'll see you guys next week for episode 2. Take care.